Hey, happy Wednesday. This is gonna be a late post, so hopefully, um, yeah, it gets viewed. But this video will be for whoever needs it, regardless of when they actually tap into the video. It's probably gonna be the right time for them. Whether that's one person, two people, three people, it don't matter. But y'all, I'm just coming on here. The Lord has just been dropping. I asked him for topics, and now he just not stopping with giving me topics. And I actually meant to talk about this yesterday, but I just got home, y'all, and I was just like, your girl needs to rest, because the way the Lord been tussling with me, waking me up in the morning, I'll be fine throughout the day. Now, that's the difference between when I wake myself up in the morning and when he wake me up in the morning, right? When he be gnawing at me, wake up at 3, daughter, wake up at 3 and talk to me, or let me talk to you. So I haven't really been tired. I haven't been tired, but yesterday I just wanted to relax my body, so I kind of forcefully made myself go to bed a little early, like super early, like 6 p.m.-ish. early, but it's okay. But today I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this because it's been gnawing at me, and the Lord is like, no, stop procrastinating on making this video. So on Monday, March 23rd, 2026, y'all, I go into work like I always do. I go in, and this time I actually went into work early because there's some things that I didn't get to finish on Friday. I was just like, I'm not doing this. I just need to go home, and I need to go home fast. It was that type of day. It wasn't even really that type of day on Friday. It was just that type of a week. So I was like, yeah, I don't care what I got to do. I'm leaving it alone, and I'm going home. So I ain't getting nothing done on Friday for real. So I said, okay, I'm going to work on my stuff on Sunday, and then when I get to school on Monday, I'll get there early, which I did. I made it a priority to get there early so I can print and make sure I needed everything done for that day. Well, you guys, to my surprise, how about this kicker? I get to work, y'all. I kid you not. How freaking about there was no paper in the school. I don't think people really y'all don't hear me. Y'all ain't understanding what I'm saying. Imagine being at an elementary school where your livelihood, let me put it in this way, your livelihood as a teacher depends on you having all of your materials, everything in order, ready to go, so you can be ready to run smoothly as you teach. We have to create student activities that must be printed. We have to print out our DOLs, our LOs. It's certain things that must mandatory be in place. And because your girl was just mentally elsewhere over the weekend or on that Friday, last Friday, I decided to, what again? Not do nothing that was supposed to be done for Monday. So, lo and behold, here comes my luck that there's no paper in the school. So we're talking about a school that starts at pre-K, from pre-K to kinder, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and then last, what subject do I teach? Fifth grade reading. There was no paper. Like when I say paper, I'm talking about printing paper, computer paper, which is very vital in all schools for each and every single last teacher in the freaking school, you guys. There was no printing paper. Now, usually the printers themselves, the copy machines and stuff, those be the problem because they're always out of toner, or they're out of staples, or they're just broken, they stopped, or they have these paper jams that nobody can figure out how to fix. Usually it's the actual printers and copier machines. This time it was no computer paper. when I said I could have cried. I could have cried. But let me tell you about who? The Lord that I serve. Y'all think it's a game out here. I'm telling you, it must be the journey that I'm on. It must be the journey. And y'all got to excuse my hair, baby. I'm ready to lay it down right now. It is rather late. I got in super late. I made it in the house probably about a good 45 minutes ago. So 9 something ish. It is now 10 something p.m. Okay. A lot transpired. That's what got me home late. But all things good. All things good. So I'll take that. I'll take that. You know? But yeah, so I got home rather late, you guys. So it is 10 o'clock. So excuse me if my hair falling down. It's all good. I don't even care. I just got to get this message out and be obedient. But let me tell y'all about God. So how about this, y'all? How about this? Last week, early in the week last week, I told my students to get the hall pass and to go to the teacher's lounge, which is where everything is located, the copiers, the printers, and stuff like that, and the stacks of paper that's always supposed to be located in there, right? Right. So I told one of my students, come here, sweetie, get the hall pass, do Miss Ivory a favor, go into the teacher's lounge and grab me, you guys, I kid you not, grab me a pack of computer paper. A pack of computer paper. Because we were doing something where my students needed computer paper. They were doing their, using it for scratch paper for reading to learn how to make sure they are correctly eliminating the answers. You know, so I told her to go get some computer paper from the teacher's lounge. Okay? And so she brought me that pack of paper earlier last week. It had to have been last Tuesday or something. I asked her to go do that. And so I asked her for their benefit to make sure that they were using their scratch paper so they can eliminate the wrong answer choices and get the correct ones. You guys, that's what I thought I was getting the printing paper for. That's what I thought I was getting the printer paper for. I thought I only needed it for their scratch paper. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Y'all still there? Oh, okay. So something in me, I end up running into one of my APs, our assistant principals, and I was like, Miss S, I don't know what I'm going to do because there's no printing paper in the school. She says, none, nada. None, ma'am. One of my favorite assistant principals. Love her down. Love her down. Love her down. That's like she got a piece of my heart. And she got to know that. I know she does because I express that to her every time. But favorite AP, one of the only ones I about really trust like that. So I was like, I don't have any computer paper. Like, what do I do? And then we have a window where the assistant principals that's over us, so she's not the assistant principal that's over me. She's just one that I'm close with. My assistant principal that's actually attached to me and assigned to me, she was supposed to come do my 45-minute observation. 45-minute observation. So this is on top of everything. I don't have anything done, y'all. I don't have nothing printed, nothing ready to go, nothing. And my assistant principal was supposed to come in and observe me for one whole full class period. She had to, like, it's mandatory. They have to sit in my class. She has to sit in my class and monitor me pretty much for my entire class period. And guess what, y'all? Monday, the day that I got to the school, I'm gonna just get there early. And there was no paper. Yeah, that was the day of my observation. My 45-minute observation. Yeah. But again, going back to how good God is. I'm sorry, I have to give y'all the full breakdown, and I hope y'all are understanding this because I'm speaking as the full thoughts are coming across my head. So yeah, She was also supposed to give me a full throttle observation where my job, my livelihood for the next year, 2026 to 2027, depends on how she was going to observe me. Yeah. Okay. So going back to the pack of paper, I told the other assistant principal that I trust, I was just like, I don't have any paper, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, just email principal, the main principal, the head principal. And I was just like, okay, I'll do it. And then by the time I got upstairs, something said, no, you will not do that. Look, the Lord already knew. Y'all see where I'm about to go, right? The Lord already knew. Here I thought I was getting scratch paper to prepare my children. And God had me to send my student to get the scratch paper to prepare me. To make sure I was prepared. What 2 words have I been telling y'all I have had to sit with? Preparation and what else? Patience. God is doing his big one. Okay? He is just, oh Lord, I can't curse. He is doing his mother freaking thing. Even sometimes, transparency. I don't be feeling like it. I be feeling like I'm forgotten about. I be feeling like I'm not seen. Even though he talked to me, even though he shows me, literally shows me that he is here with me, sometimes I'm still like, I need more. I need more confirmation. I need to know for sure. I just need to know for sure that it's you. And that you're going to come through for your girl. Y'all, by the time I told that lady, okay, I'm going to do that. And by the time I actually got to my classroom, something told me, no, you will not. When I say out of nowhere, I dropped all of my stuff and ran to the exact cabinet that had that computer paper in it and said, something said, go print this out. You will not email your principal and tell on yourself that you are unprepared. Are you kidding me? Do you know what that could possibly do to you? Even though that assistant principal doesn't have it out for me, and I know 100% sure that she was not telling me that to jeopardize my job. She was genuinely telling me that so that I can get my stuff done, because she's the one who has the authority to help me print and get everything I need done. All right? So I know she wasn't trying to set me up for failure or anything like that. That doesn't even cross my mind twice when it comes to that particular person. And so I know it wasn't that, but it was just the fact that the Lord said, no, you cannot do that. You cannot afford to do that. When I say I had my bag on me, my purse on me, I dropped everything, y'all. I just let it slide off my shoulder, and I ran to the cabinet. And something said, you have computer paper, Jasmine. You have computer paper, Jasmine. Y'all, I kid y'all not. I'm talking about 1 pack of computer paper. I had to print how many copies? 80 copies. 80 copies. I teach 3 classes of students. They rotate class by class by class. I had to print 80 copies, you guys. And only had 1 pack of paper that was already open because my 80 students from the last time used that pack of paper for scratch paper. But somehow, some way, when I took that printing paper to the teacher's lounge, put it in that printer, that copier machine, and hit start for my copies without having to and I didn't have to email my principal. I hit start on those copies, and guess what? I printed 80 copies, you guys. 80 copies that I needed, that were mandatory for me to even teach my lesson. I can't teach the lesson to the kids if they don't have anything in front of them to follow along with. They were just gonna be looking at me teach from my teacher board, my digital board. And if anybody from district would have walked in there, if my principal would have walked in there, if any assistant principal, because we have one for each grade level, would have walked in there, that could have been my job. All because we did not have paper, which was out of my control. It was out of my control. We actually have somebody on our campus who is responsible for making sure stuff like that, supplies like that, is always capital ALWAYS, is always stocked in every teacher's lounge for that particular reason. That is not the teacher's responsibility and duty to make sure that paper is where it needs to be. We have an actual designated person whose job, that's all they do, okay, is to make sure all supplies are on deck to relieve the teachers. So that's not our job. But God made it my job when he had me to send my student earlier that week, last week, to get me a pack of paper. And that paper, that one pack of paper, y'all, allowed me to print all 80 copies that were necessary for me to do my job. I had the exact, oh Lord, I had the exact amount of paper that I needed. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And then my principal came on the intercom and was like, teachers, PSA, we are aware that there's no paper in the building. If you need anything printed out, please let me know. I said, oh, Lord, I'm not in that number. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I'm not in that number. I don't want to be in that number. And thank you, Lord, for making sure. Thank you for ensuring that I was not in that number. You so good to me. You so good. You so gracious. You so faithful. You are so true to your promises. I will come through for you. Not when you want me to, but when you what? Need me to. I may not always be there when you call me, when you want me to, but he's always on time. What an on-time God. That was my true experience from what all the elders have said, what all the old folks I will always hear around me. He's an on-time God. Oh, yes, he is. Oh, yes, he is. And is. Because what? When I say I got to my classroom and I was about to open that new mail, principal, we don't have no paper. What am I going to do? The Lord said, you're not about to do that. No, No, you're not. When I say that bag slipped so smooth off of my shoulder that I was carrying and my purse followed, and I went straight to that cabinet and got that one pack of printer paper, took it to the teacher's lounge and put it in the machine, y'all, hit start, and all my stuff, and it came out stapled, packet after packet after packet, until 80 packets were complete. Now you tell me that's not a good God that I serve. Who wouldn't want to serve and be a servant of a God like the one that I serve? What? And then later on that day, somebody, a little birdie, came to me and was like, I talked to Principal J. She was like, and what I heard was, I don't listen to he say, she say, but when you got certain sources that just might know what they know. Listen. So a little birdie came to me and was like, what I heard from our principal is that some people's jobs were on the line behind them not having paper and not being ready to go. Y'all, y'all, do you hear what I said? A little birdie came and told me later on that day, that Monday, after all this craziness and no paper being in the building whatsoever. Can you imagine a school with no computer paper? A school with no computer paper. Yeah, so the little birdie, that's what she said. She said, I heard Principal such and such say that, yeah, people jobs were on the line behind that. No paper. And not being ready to lock, load, and be on the go for Monday. I was like, girl, shut your mouth. Because I wasn't in that number. No, but for real, y'all. Man, when I say the Lord saved me that day, listen. Baby, I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again. That's kind of why I got home late too, because I stayed. First of all, we had a faculty and staff meeting from 3:45 to 4:45 today. And so that kind of held me up. And then after that, I went back to my room after the meeting. Everybody else, okay, they be out of there. Hey girl, what? Bye. Track stars up out of that building, okay? But me, trackled my little self right back on up to my classroom. I ain't got no shame. I'll stay here late to make sure that I am ready and prepared, because I don't ever want to feel that feeling again. Ever. And this is so crazy because I got there early. I got there right when the school opened up, because teachers, we can't get inside the building until a certain time, 6:30 on the dot. Other faculty and staff, like the APs, the assistant principal, and the head principal, they're the only ones who can enter the building around 5:30 a.m.-ish. We can't get in until 6:30. Class starts at 7:30, but students, the doors open for students at 7 a.m. So between 6:30 a.m. and the doors opening at 7 a.m., that's only 30 minutes. And I promise to goodness, once you enter that building, 30 minutes is nothing. It fly by so fast, it is nothing. So I got there early, you guys. As a matter of fact, I got there at 6:20. And by the grace of God, somebody was in there and we were banging on. It was me and another lady, me and the writing teacher. She was there outside waiting with me because we couldn't get in. And so we just waited by the door until somebody walked by that could actually let us in, like the APs and stuff. So somebody finally came and we were like, knock, let us in. And so we got in the building around 6:20-ish, okay? 6:20-ish a.m. And so I got there uber early. So that bought me at least about 40 minutes before the students walked in to get everything done that I needed to get done, which is typically on a normal day where there's a plethora of paper lying around. That's perfect. That's a beautiful time to get to the school. Like, it's quiet. I love that time of getting to school early. It's quiet. It's subtle. It's peaceful. It's the calm before the storm. And I need that in my life. I need that. I love it. I crave that, okay? I yearn for that type of peace before school actually starts and before those doors open at 7 a.m. So most amazing, beautiful time to be at school. So I got there super early and it almost didn't work in my favor, but the favor of the Lord. Show out and do what you do, boo. That's why I be praising you even when we be like, or I more so be like bumping heads with him. That's why I praise you, Lord. This is why I still come on here and do what I do and still make videos even when I feel like we ain't here, because somehow you still be here with me. You feel me? You did. But yeah, I was just like, wow. But yeah, I just came on here to share that little miniature testimony, and to reach whoever this needs to reach, and to encourage you to keep going in your faith and to keep believing in Christ, because I promise you, when we think he's not there, he is definitely there for sure. And Sometimes he will let us know, and sometimes we'll feel like he's abandoned us, but he's been there every step of the way. And again, we may not come when we want him to on our time, but he's always going to be on time. And he's definitely going to show up when needed, when there's a demand, a high demand for him to step in and take control over the situation. So yeah, I hope someone can learn from this. And we serve a mighty good God. Yes. Yes, we do. But okay, y'all. Bye. Honey, I got on my cousin's shirt, y'all. We're not going to be sad or anything about it. Anytime y'all see me wear this shirt, this is my cousin's. I also have a blue shirt of his. And then I have his doggy. So I was left with some beautiful things, some treasures that has now been in my possession, entrusted in my possession, the doggy, and then 2 of his items, his clothes. So I am thankful for that. It has definitely been a journey. I definitely still have my spurts and my spats of emotional roller coasters. And the only bizarre thing that's been getting me by is that I literally sometimes have to imagine that he's just on a long vacation, enjoying himself somewhere. Maybe he's here in the Bahamas or something like that. So that's been keeping me going. I'm gonna kind of stay in that little Delulu land of mine during my healing process. And that's okay. We don't judge. We don't judge. Okay. But yeah, I just kind of imagine he's there because it's still so surreal that he's not physically here with us anymore on this earth. Still so surreal. But I've been making it day by day. I've been treading along. So that's a blessing within itself. I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so thankful for that as well. And then going on this journey has helped me a lot, tremendously. And so everything is, everything is okay. Everything is okay for the most part. But yeah, love y'all. And talk to y'all later. Love y'all, love him. And let's love him together. All right? Bye. Deuce.